Sorry.
Hi everyone, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Holding Court with the Empress of West Hollywood. My name's Enoch Miller, your Empress of WeHo. Hi! And we're so excited to be here with you on a Wednesday. Happy Hump Day! Anyway, we want to have a special thank you to our producers, GayLifeLA.com, for helping make this possible, as well as King Road Apartment Homes here, letting us host this beautiful space you see here today, and our amazing guests, the Enemies of Dorothy. Yeah. We have Ryan here, and then Chris is right next to him, and they are the founders of this amazing group. And we'll just give you the little bio about what the group's about, so you guys get an idea. So it is an original LGBT sketch comedy created by these two gentlemen right here. It's like Judy Garland fan fiction had a baby with SNL, which basically that was the most amazing gay bang I think ever. So party. And they're giving sketch comedy the millennial queer shakeup it didn't ask for. And you have a bunch of different people in there from all around the different community around here. Some of the ones we've actually had on the show are Need a Procedure and Michael Henry. So you guys have, it's so funny. So let's go, where did this whole idea start for the two of you to create this kind of LGBT comedy troupe?
Well, I've been doing stand-up for years, and there was a moment where Ryan's like, I want to do something with you, I want to do something together. Because Ryan has more of a sketch background, and I've never done sketch before, so it was a cool...
he's more sketch, you're more stand-up.
Yeah, more stand-up.
To break that up.
Sketchy? Oh my god.
Oh, she's sketchy, yes.
Hey, well, I won't deny.
He likes it dirty.
Yeah, I actually worked on a YouTube channel called Openly Jake, which was queer-themed. It tackled a lot of different topical issues, like when there was the blow-up on Twitter over the gay kiss on The Walking Dead, or something like the guy, the lawyer in friggin' Sacramento filing an amicus briefing to kill gay people. And how it's just ridiculous.
Kind of concentration camps and all that stuff.
Exactly. So we would do weekly videos, sort of vlog stuff on gay issues. And so once that channel sort of wrapped up and ended, there was just this outlet, this sort of passion to do a bit of activism. And being with Christopher, we sort of had resources between our two friend groups to actually put it together and do it. So from the beginning, the mandate was queer comedy.
And it's very prominent in the sense that it's not like completely in your face with this weird, like, I'm making a political statement every time I do this, but I'm trying to be funny. You're actually taking things that are very out there right now in media or out there online or stuff that like in today's society, and you're just making it funny.
Well, we did start writing after like the Trump administration. I feel like
there was like a huge
need to kind of outlet like a lot of our anger and frustration.
I can imagine.
Just a little bit with what's going on.
It's therapeutic. Some of them have been...
I will say though, your most amazing non-guest appearance is Mike Pence, so I do love that he shows up there.
We're working. There's more to come. We have a super cut plan to where we'll finally release like the 10 different Mike Pence punchlines.
We try to put him in every sketch somehow.
It's hilarious, and the way you do it is very like, it's subtle, but it's just like, it's
trolling him.
Yeah, you're trolling him. Exactly.
Can't wait till someone gets really pissed off.
Oh, please, no one around here is going to get pissed off about any of that crap at all, because, quite frankly, what was that picture? He was at a bar or something that everyone keeps putting up about him with some guy where he's topless. I'm like, that guy's gay as fuck.
Oh my god.
Only people that get that mad about gay people are closeted. Sorry. No, sorry.
Probably a little gay.
So the two of you actually come from really like distant backgrounds from back east side of the states, and Chris, you're originally from North Carolina.
Yeah, because we were talking about how you're from like Southern Baptist.
Where's that?
Where did we end up? Missouri to Texas, and
so a little different, but
same shit. Same shit. Yeah. So what was it like for you, Chris, growing up in Goldsboro, North Carolina?
God, I am like, how do you know I'm from Goldsboro?
I looked up online. Shit's out there.
No, I mean, it's really weird because obviously I have a lot of family that's very backwards.
Right.
I definitely, like, my background is very religious, very, so I grew up very, like, I wanted to be a minister, and then there was obviously that sudden, like, switch where I was like, or I could
puberty hit, you're like, yes, Justin Bieber, realness.
Well, I think it's because when you're when you're closeted and you're gay and you live in like the Bible Belt, like the only performance like options are doing like a ministry, like being in a hell house, which is like a haunted house, but with like
you're all going to hell. No, I've been through those. I've worked at
that blows my mind. Like, I can't believe they made children go to this.
Oh no, this was the thing that parents loved every year because it scared the living shit out of their children to not be bad. It's like it's their version of Christmas. Like if you're not going to be naughty, Jesus won't take you.
But it's also crazy because Christians are so good at producing. Like, I was like, if Christians work in Hollywood, I mean, it would make the world a terrible place.
Oh yeah,
but movies would be amazing.
It would be.
Try Scientology. Yeah.
I mean, I will say Passion was amazing. It scared the living shit out of me where I never want to get whipped in my life. But, I mean, you're very right there. Very good at making this big production of everything.
Making people afraid.
There's a lot of money in religion.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of money.
It's an industry.
And you're, what I love, I think I relate to you a lot, you are a gamer, which I'm a big gamer as well.
Oh, great.
He's a Belfie enthusiast because I love taking selfies too. A lot.
Yes.
And Slytherin, so we're both Slytherin.
Oh, you're both Slytherin, yay!
There's nothing wrong with Slytherin.
I was going to say, are you guessing you're Ravenclaw?
Gryffindor.
Gryffindor, Gryffindor.
Proud Gryffindor.
God, of course, yes. No, but I guess
there's nothing wrong with Slytherin.
Opposites attract, so it makes sense.
Yeah. I actually thought he was a Hufflepuff. That's my guess.
I'm reading through the books for the first time right now, by the way.
Just now?
Yeah, but he was like, you're a Hufflepuff, and I took all the tests, and it was like, Slytherin, Slytherin, Slytherin. Then we went to Harry Potter World, and every chocolate like frog that opened is like Slytherin card, Slytherin card. I'm like, oh no, I'm a manipulative snake.
Speak with the forks out.
It's terrifying. It's terrifying.
But a good Slytherin will make you think that they're a Hufflepuff.
Yeah.
And a really good Slytherin will give great head. So, but you're so you've been doing stand-up basically your entire, I would say, adult career.
Yeah.
You also are a massage therapist as well, which we'll get into the what.
That's the thing. Fun. I'm like, don't talk about that, but it happened. I mean, to do that. Yeah.
No. But I mean, the great thing about what stand-up is it really? I mean, you're very probably well adapted to doing improv and being used to kind of being thrown into a situation and being able to pull something fun and unique from it. What's that like for you compared to doing sketch on
Well, I've never really acted. It's weird because when I do stand-up, I'm just really like usually pissed off and I just like scream at people for, like a 30 minutes. But when we do sketch, I've never acted before.
Okay.
So like suddenly I'm kind of learning how to pretend to have feelings. And
sure, that's part of it.
So you're like Lisa Lampanelli on like when you're doing stand up, and then when you're doing sketch, you're like, I have to have a soul.
Yeah, exactly. It's a whole new. I'm really good with like. Also, when we're writing stuff, I know how to do like punch ups, but Ryan's like, wait, people don't talk this way. Like, I don't know how people have conversations, so I'm learning how people converse and have emotion.
That's the other part.
Emotions suck. They're hard.
They're
not fun. So what would you say has been the most challenging experience for you doing sketch and like being able to be comfortable with that?
The very first one, the very first sketch, because I had no idea what I've never really like acted before, and we had to do a lot in a short amount of period, and I think it was like Ryan learning to direct and be patient, and me learning to have like a slight ounce of confidence and maybe just have a choice, you know what I mean? Just like they're like acting is about choices, and I was like, I can't do that. Like I'm just such a I'm a bitch. Like I don't know how to do that. So I think that was our challenging one. Was the first one because we were both learning, and we've never we produce. I mean, Ryan does all the editing by himself.
Right.
Like we had to learn how to do all of that on our own. So the first one was like a huge wake up call to be like, oh my god, this is really a lot to do. Yeah.
And what would you say is the most beneficial thing you've gained from doing sketch comedy now?
I think it's been cool for us to learn to work creatively because we have a great relationship, but I feel like learning how to work creatively, it's been cool to have that love and to be able to have arguments about political issues and be able to turn that into a sketch, you know? And I think the biggest thing too is to learn to empathize with people who have different arguments than you. We have one of my favorite sketches that we co-wrote was called, that Ryan was amazing in, was Gays for Trump.
Yeah.
And
That was interesting. That was because it's so true. Sadly.
It's obviously, yeah, it's so sad. We don't agree with that viewpoint at all, but we had to empathize with that person to write their character.
Right.
And it really brought in a lot of conversation where especially, the weird thing is we have a lot of, it's weird, like hater lovers type of people who are like Republicans that comment on everything, but they also keep commenting on everything.
Right.
And I feel like it kind of brought us to have a conversation together and kind of get them to see a little bit, because we as liberals try to also make fun of ourselves as much as possible too, because you have to, and by doing that the other side's able to they're able to engage with you and have a conversation if you're able to kind of poke a little bit of fun at yourself.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think that's the biggest thing that I've learned is like empathy for the other side is, even as hard as it is, to just empathize and understand. Gay for Trump is someone that's probably from a background that ours, but so suppressed. You have to empathize with them to kind of be able to move forward and have a conversation.
Right, and that's the hardest part is like, especially with anything, you have to see the other side in order to argue why you understand your side better, but you still have to know where their headspace
where they're
is on
coming
that.
from.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's a big difference between what he does in stand-up is like how that's an audience in the moment that he gets to lead.
Right.
And you have tapes and stuff online of your sets, but you're doing the same sort of thing, that political dialogue. There's just with the internet audience that has that access to get right to you with their thoughts and reviews. I think it brings up that conversation, and that is a really cool thing that we
and you guys do, I mean, like I said before, you guys do a really good job at that balance where it's not so in your face, but it's just enough where it starts that conversation that you want to have.
We're just like unforgivably liberal. Like we really are so far left, but the voice isn't necessarily for even us or that. Like I really think that there's a responsibility with political humor that you kind of meet somebody in the middle, and with that gaze for Trump. A lot of the comments were, surely this is the best bit of trolling I've ever seen. These guys are total gays for Trump, right? And I was like, interesting thought.
No, not at all.
I was like, tell all your gays for Trump friends to come have a look, and then we'll see, I guess. Like, come watch it. Yeah, that's so interesting that they would think that. And so some of them were like, I think it's hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
It's like they really nailed it on the head, but it's like these Republicans who are like, they really nailed it on the head. In fact, I love that. I love
no liberal sketches.
It's just so interesting to hear that side.
Yeah.
So it's like, it wasn't made for you, but
no,
you're really getting a kick out of it.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that.
Yeah, we have enough self-deprecation where they're able to just like talk about it.
Exactly.
So, yeah, exactly.
So Ryan, I'm going to go to you and to start with your little...
Good, my favorite.
Back in the past. So you're originally from Yale, Michigan.
Yeah.
And grew up around that area, and you actually moved up to Canada. So
yeah,
you're a Canadian for a little bit.
Most of my life in Canada.
Yeah, for about,
so Yale's right on the border.
10, 15 years? Or 12 years?
15 years.
15 years, okay.
Over
15
in
years.
Ontario, Toronto.
Yeah, you did Toronto, Ontario, and I don't even know how to say the other one.
It was Mississauga.
That one.
Mississauga. It's a suburb. It's like, Glendale.
Okay.
Toronto. LA would be Toronto.
So something over a hill.
Over a hill. It's too far to consider the city, but it's just right there. So.
And so what was the difference between, I mean, again, because you have more of an international perspective of that part compared to the U.S., but what was your overall perspective between at least LGBT stereotypes that you saw from Canada compared to here in the U.S.?
Stereotypes like in my day-to-day people that I know,
well, like
or
that would
like
come
in
up
media, because
in media and comedy that you would
media
take
and
stuff
comedy
from.
in Canada is here. It's the U.S.
It is the U.S.
Yeah, I mean, just layer that a bit, and nobody in America's ever heard of it. That's Canadian stuff specifically.
Oh, really? So that makes.
But we really love, like, we look up to Hollywood and Los Angeles, and New York is still kind of like where people look up to for their Ellen. You know what I mean? It's the same.
So it's still more or less the same. It's just there's some one-offs every now and then that are
sure,
local.
like Ryan Leslie Fisher.
Yeah, there's your Canadian one-off. And what really got you started in doing sketch comedy or just comedy in general?
Well, I think, growing up with Mel Brooks movies and the Naked Gun series or Leslie Nielsen.
Oh, and
it's just like, I think what summed up all my comedy thinking back on it now in my life was the slap in Naked Gun. Where Priscilla Presley tries to get him here, tries to get him there, and I don't know where this third hand comes up in the same sleeve and just slaps him, and they just move on from that. She says, "I'm so sorry I did that," and it's like it's just so dumb. And I think that's kind of where it does springboard right into what we're talking about here today, is Enemies of Dorothy,
right?
And how like that kind of humor, while we layer it, we're just trying to make it as dumb as possible.
Well, and it's great.
So silly.
I mean, I love that you mentioned it because it reminds me all the time of watching Will and Grace with Jack and Karen on it, and they're just like, because those are like the quintessential
those moments,
silly, over silly comedy.
You still are sore and you're getting laughing about it,
but you know it's dumb as hell.
It's so silly. I love that. Yeah.
And what specifically brought you towards sketch comedy, and why you became so passionate about that?
Yeah, I mean, I'll try not to tangent on about it, but when I was a kid, I would record improvising what I remember from like SNL and Mad TV, especially. You put the VHS in and you tape it, and then you watch it again, and then we put another VHS in our camcorder, and we just acted it out as like goofy kids, and so. I got pushed into it that way with my parents being like, well, what's this kid? This kid does that.
Like,
so,
here we go. This is a good one.
Yeah, and like I pursued acting as a career, and now that I'm creating my own stuff, and re-meeting comedy with Christopher, like it just made sense. When I was in high school, they had something called the Skits Review at our rival drama school. So we weren't the drama school of our city. There was this whole program at a different place. They had a huge auditorium. It was wonderful, but they would write their own sketches, but they'd usually just copy out the transcript of an SNL or Mad TV sketch. And they performed those as well, and there'd be bands, and it'd be a review, like sort of a talent show, like the girl in 9th grade this year can do baton, so she did a baton, whatever. And so I was like, why don't we have that? Like, sure, we don't have an auditorium, but like, we have a gym. Could we just have the gym for a night? Yeah. Like, we'll do all the work. Like, all my friends, I was in a theater group. I was like, when we're not rehearsing for that
gay in theater.
Yeah, no kidding. Surprising, isn't it?
I'm shocked. So what brought the two of you together? Like, how did you guys meet and make this whole melding of minds possible?
Yeah,
who's gonna do the shade first? Let's start.
Which alley?
We met on Instagram.
It's just Belfies that actually was.
It was Belfies started that.
Like Grindr.
Yeah, Grindr. Yeah. Right.
Basically, no, it's like
because I was doing this thing where I photoshopped my butt next to things, like I would mimic like what Kim Kardashian was doing, but then would put like.
Chris is like slightly Insta famous. He's got like 50,000 followers. Not him. No, it's his.
It's his ass.
His ass does.
His ass has that following.
But he's a comic genius. He would Photoshop in
my
Melania
butt next
Trump
to like peeps, and I'd murder the peeps with like blood coming out of them. And then just like would put an inspirational quote underneath with like hashtag blood, and I always
hashtag One Direction.
I tag
Jesus
Pope
Christ.
Francis under all of my pictures.
Pope Francis is over there.
Tell me he replied back. Oh
what?
My God.
No. Well, he doesn't have actual Instagram. I just put hashtag. I put
hashtag
Pope
Not the real
Francis.
Pope.
But they get Christian death threats.
Yeah, they find him.
Which I love.
Well, if you're on hashtag Pope Francis and you scrolling through and you see this Belfie, you're gonna get somebody's gonna get pissed off.
Yeah,
I love that. That's freaking hilarious. I mean, I saw a few of the pictures, which I was dying. So like, what's a Belfie like?
I was trying to send them in a press package.
Because I slowed down. I have to bring the Belfies back. I've kind of slowed down on them and got lazy on them, but they were really fun to do.
I encourage it.
Yeah, he saw. I think he saw his like my butt Photoshop next to bacon, and he was like, "Yep, this guy. I'm gonna ask him out."
I slid into his DMs. He had a boyfriend though. So, like,
I bet you
it didn't work out.
I was saying, how did you slid onto that? Okay.
It didn't work out at first, but then I got single and then I asked him out.
Yeah.
He's like, I got single quick.
He's like, I have a boyfriend, and then 3 months later, I'm like, so about that going on a date thing.
All right.
And then, so you guys initially started dating, and was the comedy kind of a draw to you guys starting dating, or was it more you're attracted to each other than that happened?
Yeah, definitely, because... Why? What were you gonna do?
Oh, I want to see this face. Wait.
No, it's just fun. No, it was just funny because we both did. I remember we went on our first date, and both like immediately afterwards, you did a sketch for like Openly Jake the next day.
Oh wow.
And then I did a series for the LGBT Center where I like interview people on the street or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And I think immediately we realized like we're kind of clicking in the same type of universe.
Yeah, that was definitely.
And then Ryan I've never had a significant other just go to stand-up shows and just be like, oh my god, this worked because so-and-so.
I made him go to my theater plays, which he hates. So,
I couldn't do theater, but he was like, okay, I like your stand-up stuff, but we kind of combined. I realized that he really knew what he was talking about because he would go through my set after shows
I would
and be
offer unsolicited
advice.
Well,
because he's seen the jokes, so he knows they work. So he's like, but
I was like, that didn't land this time
because
I've seen that joke 3 times.
Yeah,
land this time.
But the way you guys, I think what's so great about it is the way you guys perform on these YouTube videos and on these other skits. You guys have this great connection, relationship, cohesion that makes it funnier because the two of you just have this connection that works really well, and I think it's what every actor and actress strive for, is having an amazing scene partner where you have someone that plays off you and really gets what you're doing. So I mean, it shows very quickly and easily on a lot of these things. Yeah. Especially the Babadook and Pennywise one. I lost my shit with that one.
The craziest
thing
is there. So do you want to tell? No. We flew to we were having vacation in Puerto Vallarta for a week, and our flight got canceled, and we had to get a new flight for a whole day.
Oh wow!
So we got home 2 hours
before we had a shoot.
Before this shoot,
because we had everything out.
We had to do makeup.
Was this in Beverly Hills that you guys? It looked like you were in Beverly Hills shooting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Because I'm I recognize that side of a bathroom area, or that little park.
Thing.
Well, I think that's where Babadook and Pennywise moved to.
They moved to
the slums of Beverly Hills.
The slums of Beverly Hills. Are there slums?
That's what it shows up on the geotag.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yes.
Yeah.
But we had to plan out. We had to do the makeup last minute. He was running around because he's
on top of it, though, Christopher is hugely afraid of clowns.
Oh, I didn't say that. Yeah.
Oh, you are.
He's got an irrational fear of clowns.
I hate clowns.
Yeah, and
just clown because I know some people are afraid of the circus clowns where there's the weird makeup and it's just that, and people are afraid of performance clowns, which they are the ones that usually have the more done up. So is it just clowns in general?
I don't like clowns.
Got it.
I don't like the crazy makeup.
Okay.
And I don't like slapstick comedy. Makes me feel nervous.
Okay.
If that makes any sense. I don't know how to explain why. It was really it's weird. It's it's why it took me a little bit to get into drag queens because it was kind of a similar.
I'm gonna ask that.
It's very.
That's true.
1920s slapstick comedy, clowning. It's kind of. I mean, it's not obviously it's different.
Well, yeah.
But it took me a little bit to kind of understand it.
Well, they're basically clowns anyway.
And then I learned that obviously in drag culture, there's so many different types of performances. And there's queens that do really deadpan comedy. There's queens that sing live.
Right.
And when I realized
pageant queens were just beautiful women.
Yeah, and I realized okay, maybe this part of drag isn't my favorite thing, but this part, oh my god, I love this part. Yeah. I learned that's a whole culture, but it took a little bit because at first I was
them.
Did you bond with Bianca Del Rio at all? Because I think her stand-up would be very something.
She's great.
I love her stuff. Her sets are hilarious, and she just reads people for film.
I mean, whose mind works like that? She's so single.
I mean, it's you don't have that just the way she's on with so effortlessly without just anything that comes in, she's boom, snap.
I admire
that.
It's because she's also constantly writing in her head, so she's trained her brain. She probably originally wrote, and then she just trained her brain to just come up with it immediately.
Exactly.
Because it's kind of like running. You start running maybe 5 minutes, and eventually gets.
So how did you guys come up with the concept? We're gonna go back to the Pennywise and
How
did you guys come up with that concept of doing these two kind of horror fiction story characters?
Well,
he made me see it.
Well, I took him to it, and he cried.
I loved it.
Once during the movie,
outside
and
of the
afterwards
theater.
in the parking lot.
He had to walk me around. He's
we enjoyed it, right,
cupcake?
honey? We enjoyed it. Say you enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it. It was a really great movie, but it kind of got me over my fear of clowns, but I still really don't like them.
And so he was in our mind.
Okay.
And the Babadook coming out as gay was just a moment of pure comic genius for me, because everything we stand for, of that absurd third hand, where did it come from?
Right.
It's why is he gay? No reason.
No, just
but he is now.
Yeah.
And just imagining him as a jaunty man in a hat, and so that was in our lives as well for the Pride March. We painted a big picture of Babadook,
Yeah, I saw that out there. There's a bunch of pictures out there.
Just brought everyone together because it's a symbol where it's whatever you like, whatever if you're a gay man, if you're a bear, if you're twink, if you're effeminate, if you're masculine, whatever you're on the genderqueer spectrum, everyone related to this character. He's so weird, so random, And we're like, yeah, let's be a random weird gay community and just accept it.
And they were, I mean, it was just so funny that it was just, it so quickly took off as people saying, oh, I can totally relate to it. It was like, this kind of came out of left field, but it worked for so many people that really bonded with it. Yeah. And it was really true.
But the It craze, so this is released.
I'm a
and
huge
then
fan
Twitter.
Of It. I loved it.
Yeah, we love horror.
My partner hated it. He hates horror movies.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I loved it. I was so excited when it came out. I'm sorry.
But it was, so we saw it though, and then Twitter came up with the joke about Pennywise and Babadook together. And so I remember I said to Chris, I was like, you know, my dream for Enemies of Dorothy would be, we would be the show that people are watching that expect us to do a sketch about this.
Right.
Like we're the show that would do that. That's where our place is on the entertainment spectrum.
And it worked. It was
and
the
so
perfect.
We were like, let's
it was
do
the
it.
biggest sketch Jimmy. It's got 500,000 views or something on Facebook.
Yeah. So
it's amazing, and it was that perfect amount of just creepy and hilarious at the same time.
We nailed that.
Yeah.
Well, just I mean, him doing the whole Pennywise tongue thing, which just like weirded the fuck out of me, and
it weirded all of us out.
It was a breakthrough.
I was not ready
for sure. It was a breakthrough performance
because I'm so scared of clowns. So to see myself as a clown,
I was totally shocked. He wasn't like that in rehearsal.
And immediately I put on the makeup. I was like, "What if I'm just afraid of myself?" And then everyone's like, "No."
It was freaky.
It was just, it worked so much. And plus, again, seeing you guys actually in public, walking down the sidewalk, skipping along the street.
Well, the best thing is like we both need glasses, and we both had to put in colored contacts in, so I was blind
the entire day.
We're just like, wow.
Our crew, we have a very trusted crew, and on that sketch specifically, we had Michael Verratti, who he's a great horror aficionado. He's got this wonderful queer podcast.
A lot of the stuff for Lifetime movies, like a lot of the.
Well, yeah, he has a few Lifetime movies.
Oh wow!
Like he's a fabulous gay guy, but he's got a dark horror fiction. Like
be careful
fixation.
for the quiet ones. They're the scariest.
I love him. So we did his podcast, The Dead for Filth, and so we were like, you know, we love you, man. Like, will you direct this Babadook Pennywise video? So we were in really good hands with it, and like just seeing his vision with us come together, and Chris's crazy clown thing.
I mean, that was brilliant.
Just becoming what he fears most.
I mean, you played that character so quintessential what Pennywise was. I mean, you just gave that Babadook that what you were expecting from it being in real life.
Well, our inspiration were actually like almost like two floppy gay guys would be like, "Oh,
yeah,
a little bit of that."
Yeah.
It was fun.
No, that was.
It was fun for our relationship too. It was like a fun way of exploring just being, because we sometimes are that overbearing like Instagram couple, and I think we had a kind of poke fun.
If you want to see what he means by that, go look at the July 14th photo that just happened, where you will find out who the big spoon is. And which is so cute, though, by the way. And I almost didn't recognize it was you for a second.
Maybe it was.
Maybe it wasn't. No.
Because you had more of a goatee than just the mustache.
Yeah.
And I was.
We were camping.
Camping.
By camping, being in a 3-story, mansion in Big Bear.
Glamping. That's exactly what they were glamping.
There's a lot of champagne.
I'd love to go back to kind of one of the first ones you guys put out there for the videos on your YouTube channel, the Gay Lego Friends.
Yeah.
Which every kid knows what Legos is and has grown up with Legos. The way you said, so first to do a gay guy in a salon, which stereotype 101.
Yeah, gay best friend.
Gay best friend, all that stuff where all these girls have the one gay friend they have at a salon.
Yeah.
The WeHo juice bar, which sadly that's every juice bar in Santa Monica.
We just came from there before.
Walk into all of them, they are all exactly like that. Yeah. How did you guys make the RuPaul's Drag Race one? Because that's impressive.
Okay, we should talk about how we came about this.
Well, first of all, like we said,
start from the beginning.
We met through his Belfies on Instagram, but since he had
I kept him around with the Legos.
It was really? The gamer group. So Chris is actually working for this that's a non-for-profit.
Yeah, there's a LA gamer group.
Society.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I just happened to Craigslist, moving from Canada, and I got into this house with a gay roommate who hosted these lags parties.
Sure.
You know the sort of things you find on Craigslist.
Yeah, wait too. Roommate for hire. As long as you are face down, ass up, and clean, you can stay for free. Party.
Honestly, I got a lot. I had a good run in that house.
Okay.
Very sore, but yeah. It is free rent.
Worked. Okay, so you're doing this gamer.
Yeah, so he would host.
Okay.
But the party
gamer
would just
parties.
automatically host in this house I moved into, and it's like that's that guy.
Oh.
So he helps.
Yeah.
Who works in that.
But I was
but that gaming stuff is what really drew me to him. Okay. And he's a huge nerd. He loves PlayStation. He has a GameCube.
I collected Legos.
Switch, and Legos.
And I got into it right around the time I was dating Ryan. Like, I got my first set. It was like cocaine. I got my first set, and then Ryan came in, and we both kind of got addicted. And then we were looking through the catalog, and I was like, "Look at those girl Legos."
Which is they're called Lego Friends. Have you seen them?
I've seen Legos.
They're like Legos, but they're skinny.
Right.
But they look so gay. The thing is, we just started looking at the pictures.
He's collecting these Legos, and he's got like all of these great modular houses and stuff. And for his therapy, he builds the blocks together. It takes like a month to build one of these giant structures. But he's like, I want more Legos.
Well, they're like intricate, right? Too.
Yeah.
So he gets these girl sets, and we see the characters, and we're like, these are twinks. These are little gay boys. Like these are not.
But
like
then
Asher is not dating Brittany, who's like the set is about Brittany's hair salon or whatever. It's like Asher works there, and it's her gay best friend. I mean, that is not a boyfriend coming.
And all the boys that are in the Lego Friends, like they're all workers. Like they're always like the mall attendee. Like they're all. So you're like, okay, we get. It's really they're all also the gayest sets ever.
So the RuPaul set did come out of this Lego Friends that was like a rock star stage. So
okay.
What we would do is use our creativity to build it into a.
It looked fantastic.
Yeah,
I was so impressed by that because I'm like, you say RuPaul's Drag Race, I'm like, wait, this looks like the set of Drag Race. Like, how did you do that?
Yeah, our first sketch that we released, and we had RuPaul and Michelle Visage retweet it, and we were like, so we're famous, so we're gay ready.
We're winning at life.
We're welcome to the entertainment.
It was just the weirdest thing, but I think that was the thing that got us into doing. We're like, wait, we should do real sketches. Like we should.
Yeah, because that was just shot like on our iPhones, and we recorded.
Yeah, we shot on
our own little. We have a little editing doc that we just did it all.
And it was just for us. Like we were just like, let's do this for us. This will be fun. I kind of came home, and Ryan was there. There was like an iPhone camera, and he's trying to do stop motion, and he painted all these backgrounds behind the Legos.
Yeah.
And I was like, what's going on?
I mean, it was very near the birth of Enemies of Dorothy.
Okay.
Where we're thinking like, I have an art background as well. I mostly high school, but got me through a little bit of college, and so it's something that I ignored when I pursued theater. And now that we're creating our own work, it was just this point where we could say, like, what are we passionate about? What do we like, and what are we good at?
And how gay can we be?
and how gay can we make that? Come on, Trump, we gotta do something.
Oh my gosh. I come home, and, like, people are like, it's the craziest paintings. Like, once there was 2 paintings of horses.
For the gay Godfather sketch.
Yeah, he painted 2 different horse heads.
Easter egg in there for that horrific scene.
But I remember texting my friend, I was like, what's going on? What is this? And they're like, of course, it's Big Horse and Little Horse. Why would they not be there? Why would they not be in the living room?
Yeah.
You need to understand your boyfriend.
But yeah,
and you're just like, okay, sure.
Okay, sure.
It's those things, that's the reason why we do it, is like because we should be working on scripts or like learning lines and stuff. And I'm like, no, I am painting a mural of a horse to be in this sketch. It's such a funny thing that no one's
And then he's like, is the horse mural there in the background? It needs to be there.
It's like, we gotta set up so the horse can be seen. It took 4 hours.
Oh my god. And then so the last part you guys did with the gay Lego Friends, what, Chris, did you build this or did Ryan build this? The Bryant Singer's Hollywood House party set.
I don't know whose idea that was.
No, I mean, it's just...
We both looked at the set.
It's here. It was it. The guy that came with that house was definitely...
Brian Singer.
Brian Singer's house. I mean, we've all been there, right? That's what the house looks like. It's
I need...
It has not happened.
I haven't got my shot. I haven't got my shots for that one.
Exactly.
Right now. I haven't got my shots for that set yet. So there's... That's the funny part about it was all the guys were in the one hot tub, and he's looking like. Sadly, I've been to that party, but
honestly, there were hot dogs too, and it was just the stuff we had.
It was just stuff.
It's like, okay, we got to get this hot dog guy in the frame.
Yeah, that's the other thing. You're like, open a Lego Friend set, and you're like, why is there just a package full of hot dogs?
There was just a package full of hot dogs in it.
Like a little bag.
It's a Hollywood Hills house, so there's a grill, so they came with hot dogs to put on the grill for the little Lego friend.
Sure, they're putting it on the grill. Okay, we'll go with that. Okay.
Well, you saw the video.
I did see the video. I saw what you guys were doing with the hot dogs in the video. So, and the next one, I know everyone's going to hate me for this, but I love that they put this video up there. Game of Thrones video about a guy calling his grandmother.
We love Game of Thrones.
It's
you hate it.
The
Empress.
I never watched it, and I didn't like it.
You're the only Cersei.
Jon Snow can stay dead for all I fucking care.
Mitt's throne here doesn't like Game of Thrones.
No.
She won the crown. She won the crown.
Yes, I have seen watch. That's what I like with what the guys that do the girls' hair, and then they're talking about Game of Thrones and doing the shortened version.
Wonderful.
I love that.
Yeah.
Because that,
Game
I mean,
of Thrones is,
that's 3 hours of my life I can actually waste and enjoy it that I wasted.
Yeah.
The other shit of watching Game of Thrones, which is 27 hours of my entire existence, I will never get back.
He made me binge it. Binge like the whole Games of Thrones.
I want to see it again.
And I was just crying, and I was like, I feel like we should just be watching real history. Like, we should just be learning about something.
No. If you want to go see some White Walkers, go to Rodeo Drive, where all the icy bitches are really at. I mean, seriously.
Oh, boy.
But I love this whole, like, it was this whole coming out story of this guy to his grandmother about, I don't want you to judge me for this, but I don't like Game of Thrones. And I was just like, yes!
It was just coming out.
It was this Game of Thrones hatred coming out.
Yeah, this was our friend Zach Ogle. And so he actually had this concept for that sketch, and we were like, of course we'll do that. That
so
is
funny.
so dumb. But it was his exact coming out story with his grandmother.
So it was just replacing
It was literally just replacing a few things with Game of Thrones. He never saw Game of Thrones. He hates it. Okay. And so, like, he confessed. We helped write in some of the specific stuff.
Call me. We'll be friends there. We're good.
Zach literally hates it. So, he just replaced it with a few of those, and we punched it up.
And you guys just filmed that in your home or in his place?
Yeah, that was actually, that's our kitchen.
Just your kitchen. Yeah. So just, again, phone and just following
no, we actually have a crew.
A real life camera.
Yeah, and once we upgraded to live actors, we had to get.
Okay, so you got some. They got some
budgets.
equipment. Yeah,
we got our equipment.
And you can tell it's funny, like since you've seen our old sketches, like the budget's increased, but it's just like
but not really.
Not really.
But the quality, the quality increased. I mean, definitely for sure. I mean, that first one you could tell was a little. For Legos it was cute, but it was homemade. You know, you guys made it.
That's
But you could definitely see the quality definitely get better.
We got
and better,
real cameras and sound equipment now.
Yeah, for sure. But
our friends do, and we guilt them into working with us.
Yeah, but I think that's part of the charm too. Is
they
like
love
keeping
it.
That
well, they seem like they enjoy it, especially the ones that actually perform and they're with you. They're hilarious.
So lucky for all of them. Actually.
Yeah, and our director, our camera guy, Brandon Smithson, is just like the best guy we could ever work with. He just comes and every single day is so happy to just film it for us.
A queer cinematographer looking to do something with somebody, and luckily we're his friends.
That's fantastic.
So of course he'll do it.
It's so funny if you ever watch the gag reel. They apologize to Ryan every other 5 minutes for screwing it up because he has to do it. So it's always funny to watch that too.
Yes.
Well, he takes me to the editing room. He's like,
I've stopped. My therapist told me to stop that. So I did. She said it was really
and you're like, what do you mean? Like, I didn't do anything.
No, it's very much
yes,
like,
I looked into the
Christopher,
camera.
get up here real quick, hon. Come take a look.
And,
and I'm not showing him like how it's going. I'm showing him this take and this take. What's wrong?
Can you listen
nothing,
to
no.
Nothing, sweetheart, because you're deleting those pictures.
Yeah, it's right in the trash. It's in the trash now. No,
and then the other one I really liked from this was the gay agenda one, which you had Anita Procedure and being the corporate
boss, lady boss
thingy, because she is.
You've had her on the show as well.
She's fierce as fuck. I love her. And so basically, the whole concept of this is the LGBT population is going from 10% to 7.5%, and what is their board of LGBT influencers going to do in order to make more people gay or come out that they're gay? And it was really funny. Just, I mean, it used to be there, just like the
Femme Queen.
Femme Queen. And it's like, I don't know. It was perfect because the sad thing is, it's like we all know those gays out there that are like that. You pull so much from real life that everyone's like, oh yeah, I know that boy. I know someone like that.
Ryan did my hair, because he does everything.
Okay.
So he did my hair, and I was like in this like pink suit jacket with this pink like froey hair, and I'm like, I feel so uncomfortable right now.
We put makeup on your eyes too, I think.
And there's makeup and
or in your eyebrows.
Lipstick. Or like gloss or something.
Yeah, that type of like.
We're just adding as much.
He looked fish as fuck, girls. He looked beat for filth. But
it was next to Anita, maybe not.
But it was no. That's the queen realness.
That's queen fish of WeHo.
It was so. I mean, again, it just like the lesbian made sense as a lesbian. The femme queen, the bi guy with his random girlfriend, and then the transgender representative. It was so perfect and so funny how you guys all played off each other in such a goofy way of being like, oh, gay stereotype, but it still made sense because Anita was just like, what are we gonna do?
Got it.
And then obviously we're going to call our trump card in the White House, which is
that prop.
Which,
we still have it.
I
slip it into as many other stuff.
I love it. And then we'll talk about the next one that came up with, gay hell. So, what was the concept behind the video for gay hell?
I guess that's just it. Like, our team is really what makes us. So it's not just any one person doing the work. It's that kind of like, we're all just getting together, and if we had to do it on our iPhones, we would, but
our friend,
little theater guy, David Evan Stolworthy.
Pitched the idea.
I knew him through theater work, and he just had this idea of like, what if like there was a gay hell? That's sort of like the kind of videos that, like the comedy style of you guys, and we were like, let's write that script. Chris is from his Christian background, his little Christian soldier knowledge.
Yeah, so
it's just something we're really passionate about, is to
making fun of Mike Pence and Christians.
Yes, love it. And so basically the idea is this guy goes to gay hell and finds out it's actually kind of fabulous, and it's a little weird in places, but I mean overall it's not the hell he was anticipating. And I see a lot of the Christian nuances you pull in it, because it's like making fun of the Christian televangelist, making fun of all these other people that people I kind of identify with Christian culture, and really making it again funny, where it's like you go to, Fire Island, and it's an island of fire where you get judged by queens.
Yes.
Which is sad but true, but I think I could handle that.
And we're like, just like West Hollywood.
Right, exactly, because the sad thing is, it is true. I may have been one of those people a few times several weeks ago.
Now you've retired to the
I thought you were going to say several years ago.
No.
Like, you mean just while
I'm
you're
still
up here.
23. But no, it's really kind of perfect. And again, it's just the flow between everything. And then obviously you get a call from Mike Pence about needing a favor.
Good friends with
Pence, with the devil. Wait, are you the he devil, she devil, they devil,
Ooh,
we
she
devil?
I'm thinking that's like Roseanne Barr.
Okay,
kind of
there you go.
Yeah, sure. And polyamorous relationship with her and Meryl from that movie.
But we have to make fun of Mike Pence because, oh my god, I think it's our way of coping with it too. We have this like extremely homophobic person in the White House who's just like, I mean, I would say cancer to LGBT rights almost.
Oh no, for sure.
Yeah, we even followed him through the Openly Jake days, like the web series that was going on. He would come up often with the Indiana pizza bigots and any sort of crap going on down there, and so we knew who this guy was well in advance.
Oh my gosh.
And it got into our lives when our families like, I'm voting for him. I was like, you know who Mike Pence is. Trump, is like you watch his show,
right?
But like, you know who that is, right? And they're like, no. And it was hard to have that conversation.
Yeah.
And hard to really like.
Didn't know.
There's just a moment where you're like, well, this and this, and so this is kind of a way to be like, let's talk about that, because maybe if you're gonna not. If you don't really know that he is a threat to the LGBT community,
right? Exactly.
You have to call him out over and over.
Which makes
you gotta call him out and start that conversation. And no better way to do it than laugh a bit.
And
why cry when you can laugh?
Right, exactly.
Yes. Why cry when you can laugh?
And the other one, though, this one is my favorite because I think this is the one I think Chris understands the most on it. When you do the LGBTs, which is basically a children's Christian group that tells everyone they're going to go to hell if they're gay. Was this your brainchild at all?
The crazy thing is, this is Ryan.
This is yours. Okay.
I rewrote some of the songs and stuff, but like Ryan was the one that was like, "We're doing this." I'm like, "What?"
I definitely, I guess, a lot of credit can go towards his stand-up, his material.
You laugh on that face. My mother.
So I've even ripped a couple of the jokes from his sets, and I was like, "That's going in here. That's going in the song."
Yeah, he put some of my stand-up jokes in the song, but I think I think you've been inspired a little bit because of my Southern background and Southern family.
Well, yeah, I actually get along
to North Carolina.
Yeah, we went to North Carolina.
You survived North Carolina.
I sure did.
Oh, Jesus.
It was very different than Canada.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we don't have as many churches in Canada as they do in the South. Oh sure.
But there are like more churches than homes.
Oh,
like
same thing with anything in the South. There was two of the
Missouri,
biggest things you can find, Missouri and Texas. Two of the biggest things you can find in a southern state is churches and car dealerships.
One every block.
Yeah, and almost at every other block. That is like
you need
and
cars to go to more churches.
Right. Those blocks count as one on each corner.
Right, exactly.
Basically, basically. But the funniest thing about it, so this teacher hires this group thinking they're doing just awareness about just inclusion and diversity and all the different stuff with that, of making sure they understand the differences. And they come in with shirts saying LGBT, which stands for Laura. Oh shit.
Lauren, Gary, Bryant,
Tom. Yeah. And it was, they're like, no, it's our initials. Like, that's LGBT.
What? We're a Christian group.
Oh, yeah, right. And it's just like, they do their warm-ups. And you have to, I'm not going to ruin all of it, but you have to watch it. It's so funny because the sad thing is you just see it devolving into this, like, it becomes, like, okay, it's a little bit, like, Bible Thumper, and then it's really Bible Thumper, then it's Hell and Brimstone, then it's Lake Fire.
Yeah.
And it's
just somehow kind of gay.
And
it's really gay.
And they're just like, oh my god, and then you have Michael Henry, who, so have you seen any of his videos too? I mean, he is the gayest gay of gay-ity.
Relentlessly.
Out there, to watch him do this thing, I was dying because I'm like, that is so not Michael, but he makes that work.
Yeah, we wrote that part for him. We wrote that part for Michael.
Oh, yay, Michael, you were typecast as a gay.
Yeah. But it couldn't have worked better having him play his character.
Being so deadpan.
And so you guys were just, I mean, it was just brilliant. I watch it every time and I giggle because, again, I've been there, done that, and seen it all.
And you really see children groups like that.
You do.
Well, you do. I mean, I've never seen it, but, like, hearing that those people are real still, like, I wrote it and it floors me.
The craziest thing is we tried posting this video on, like, a lot of, like, gay groups, and they're like, this is too triggering.
We're pretty tongue-in-cheek,
too offensive. And we're like, it's real though. Are you not gonna have real conversations?
Also, you're making fun of these people, by the way. Too.
Yeah.
It's not like you're saying, "Oh, we want to promote these people." It's like, no, we're making fun of these what people do.
But that's why we're enemies. I mean, we as an LGBT community can be very sensitive, and especially different sex. But that comes from
right.
Yeah,
we'll share it out on ours. We actually just did. We did a review for it on GTV if you want to see it. But I mean, it was I'm dying when I saw it because again. Relatability, but also it's just, I mean, you guys put, again, that great spin of being so over the top that it's just like, it's freaking hilarious.
Thank you.
And I think we can, like, battle things, like, we can poke fun of ourselves, we can still be sensitive, obviously, to certain things, like, we're not complete dicks, but, like, we've found that balance between it.
Well, you are what you eat.
Oh, girl, that one.
That's why I will never be a pussy. Thank you.
I want that gif right there. Can we make that a gif?
We'll do that later. Oh my god. There's enough of the things that should not be online that are online because of me, and I'm going to stop there for now.
So why be sensitive?
So the latest one you just did, which was really hilarious, and I love that you got your friends to do this, was White History Month.
Yeah.
Basically, White History Month is going to all the other history months and is feeling left out because he is not included in the other months of History Month. And it really kind of, as funny as it is, I really didn't realize how many different history months there were.
Yeah.
In May?
Just in May. There's like, what, 20-something in May?
That's a crazy thing, yeah.
But just like looking at it, you're like, this is actually legitly like concerning how all this shit is super imposed by all the other stuff, by like all this stuff like white America, even though they put up our little white privilege.
Mm-hmm.
But the sad thing is, it's so true, and it's so funny how you guys were able to, again, bring it to light and make it funny, but also kind of just say, hey, this is still an issue. Why did you guys specifically want to do that?
That's again from our community.
Okay.
Ian Westland, who played Black History
everyone
Month,
kind of
was the writer.
He wrote a sketch, and I was like, we have to do this. And
and then he asked us, he's like, it's not really gay, and I was like, well, you're gay, and we're gonna play Black and White History.
I just remember reading like white guy that wants a History Month. I was like, Ryan.
I definitely. I've been typecast. I did a PSA as straight white guy.
Okay.
Right after the election, and it's just people saying, I'm worried about losing my house, or I'm worried about being deported, or I'm worried about this. And straight white guy comes in and says, hey, you're in trouble. Well, I'm here to say, don't worry about that. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry.
And so it was a genius little sketch that this other troupe did, and so I've been definitely typecast as the gays for Trump guy. White privilege.
Well, I mean, it's
the mustache.
It's the mustache.
Yeah.
I will say that this has been coming up a lot. I've seen a lot of people doing now the 70s porn stash. I love it. It's just coming back with a vengeance, and I kind of love that it's coming back. Chris, how much do you like this stuff?
It's my decision, 90% of it.
I said don't say that. No.
So now we know.
But
they tickle us.
Like life of an actor, an artist, I grew it up for a role, and you're trying to change up your look, see how the mustache.
And I was like, you're keeping it.
But it was LGBTs, and I was like, well, that guy's gotta have a mustache.
Right.
It just works so much better. The weird Christian child singer who looks like this.
I also just like that it makes us look different, because at first I just looked like a small version of him.
Yeah.
Like a small, meek version of him, and now we look more meek.
Is the word.
Yeah, meek is the word.
Small.
Unless you see his stand-up, then you don't think meek.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, this bitch is on.
Yeah, check out those Belfies.
Yeah. Oh, those things are hilarious. I will say, those are my favorite things about it, because when I saw your Instagram feeds, I saw those and I'm like, how did you do this? I want to do this. Because it's so genius. And it's again, the perfect way to poke fun.
Well, now that things are political again, I have to bring it back.
It's honestly like one of the mandates of Enemies of Dorothy too. Like he is sort of making a joke about the feminine form, and he gets a lot of hate.
Because also a lot of
guys don't click on it because it's small.
They just see a butt and they see a little picture.
Oh my god, her tits are out facing away and it's the butt, and they click on it and they see the guy and then they leave comments.
And they also see Jesus behind me doing this number.
So,
did. You're doing it in front of our Lord. You know,
it really is political humor. Like it is like.
Well, that's perfect. Again, it's like all the stuff. If you go and see it, if it's on YouTube. On Facebook, it's Enemies of Dorothy. You can go check it out. It's hilarious. Yeah. And there's such the great videos. What can people expect coming up here in the future from you guys of any either themes or specific videos that they can look out for here coming up soon?
Well, I guess
that you can share without giving everything away.
Yeah, our next project is a little more horror comedy too.
Yeah.
So I think maybe it's coming off the back of New Year's and Christmas.
But if you like Babadook and Pennywise, you'll love this one.
So I guess that's where we're going with Enemies of Dorothy currently. But it's we're pretty regular on that. So
and do you guys have a specific direction going going forward of like specific topics you want to hit on or touch on or bring some sort of sketch to?
It's almost week by week because we just read the news and we're like, what the hell? And we just write about it. You know?
But the voice that's in there, the Christian characters, I know there's some in here for him that I cannot wait to show you when he's ready. But I think honestly, just keeping the conversation of right versus left, gay versus what or why. It's just it's just about living and creating comedy. Why cry when you can laugh, kind of thing, and all of that together is really important to us.
Is there any chance of this going into an actual touring troupe?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We have lots of plans in mind for live shows and actually taking it to a one night kind of event, of like a
sketch comedy kind of thing.
But
would you guys do both something like have him do a set, have you guys do a show, mix up the stand-up and stuff?
It's interesting because there's some gay comedy tours that are starting up, so it'd be perfect to include Enemies in that. So we're trying to figure that out.
Variety style, like I said. If we get a girl who can throw a baton, then you better believe she gets 2 minutes during the show. While we're setting up, you know what I mean? It's Enemies Live is a concept right now, but it's pretty crazy show.
So the comedy store, make sure you get a night with these guys and plan out the whole night around this. So it's an Enemies of Dorothy's night, so find them and follow them.
Yes.
We want to also thank so much these gentlemen for being here today and getting to share their amazing truth. So much fun. Again, check them out. Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. Mostly YouTube, because that's where you get all the juicy goodness of all these videos, and just they're freaking hilarious. Start off the very beginning and work your way down. You will be dying like I did, and it's so great. We also want to say thank you very much to GayLifeLA.com for making all this happen.
Yes.
And Kings Road Apartment Homes for this beautiful space.
Thank you. And the Empress.
Yes, Gaga. And so next week we're really excited. We have a special guest who will be a gay rapper. So we're going to get... here. Yes, there is.
I thought that was a what?
Yeah. So give me a what, oh. And so, Cardi B style, we will catch you guys next week. Thanks so much. Bye.